Hello everyone, this is your stock market outlook for the week of March 20th. I go through the same process each week. This is my overall outlook on the market, which then determines if I'm going to take individual trades or not. Articles on those within this article that I publish and update each week. And overall, some price action damage done. NASDAQ, really strong rally late in the week, but most of the other indexes we can see, especially the NYSE composite, has taken out this prior low. That is not good. That is not uptrending behavior. Now, we could enter into a range where the price starts moving up and we're just trading in this area, or we could continue lower. And the S&P, you can see the same thing. It made a slightly higher swing high here, and we've come almost all the way back to the bottom of that range, or to the prior low. Russell 2000, same thing, right back to the prior lows. TSX Composite, same thing, right back to those prior lows. The CAC, which is the French index, is on here simply because it's been one of the strongest ones over the last year, and even it's had a pretty good hard sell-off the last little bit here. Threw on gold because it's interesting, same with Bitcoin. Both are just ripping. The reason could be, people want to have some money outside of the banking sector, and these provide that, especially Bitcoin. You can pay for stuff with Bitcoin, which is nice. Gold, a little harder to pay for stuff when you're going to the store, but I mean, you can pay for a lot of things with Bitcoin. Sending money to people, etc. So that also doing quite well. But yeah, it's tough position here for the overall stock market indexes. The health indicators, all negative. We have less, or about 20% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. It's usually going to be much easier to make money when more than half of stocks are above their 50-day moving average, meaning they're moving up in short-term uptrends. Not that the 50-day moving average is anything super important. It's a very crude measure of a trend, but it is going to be easier when most stocks are trending up. This is the daily average movement of the S&P 500. Uptrending behavior is going to be characterized by very small movements. We don't really even have any on this chart because we've been in the downtrend the whole time. But if we look at the very far left here, you have these types of small movements. When the market's trending higher, you're going to see more of those. When the market's in a little bit of a chaotic state, we're going to see these really big up and down moves. I usually bracket them at about 2%, especially to the downside. 2% downside days are not good for the market. They create a lot of caution among investors, hedge funds, those types of things. And we had 3 in a row last week, which were almost minus 2%. Then we had these really big upside days. So still very volatile environment. We get these periods where we start to squeeze in, and then the volatility comes back in. So this is not good at the moment. On the NYSE advanced decline line, this is just advancing stocks minus declining stocks as a cumulative number, and we are trending lower on it, basically confirming what the indexes are doing, so that's not great at the moment. And we did have a 90% downside day last week. This is upside volume versus total volume, so when you have only 10% of the volume or less in stocks that are moving up, that is a very big sign that there is a lot of bearish sentiment, because you can flip that around and say 90% of the volume occurred in stocks that were dropping. That's not a good sign. And we had one that was very close on Friday. I think it was about 87% downside volume. 10% and 90% are the levels I care about. But our last signal on this one was a bearish one. The ultimate indicator is how many quality setups there are and how trades are working. Well, there haven't been any trades recently, and the watch list that I had published last week was extremely small. No trades last week, so basically market's telling us, hey, not a lot setting up right now. Sectors on the move. There's also, this has been interesting, if we go kind of looking at, I post the historic conditions, what's said each week down here. And we did have communications communication services and technology in the last few, and those seem to be the only ones that have kind of held up. Everything else that was holding up okay has dropped off. Sorry, let me stabilize there for you. Communication services, technology, top for the week, as we saw. The NASDAQ index very strong last week. Communication services and technology tops on the 1 month, even though they're negative, and they're the top 3-month performers as well. So at least there's a little bit of clear leadership in terms of those. They also sold off the most, especially technology, back in 2022. So in a way, they're just kind of bouncing back from some pretty big selling. So what I'm going to be doing this week, again, I'll be taking the week off until market health indicators turn favorable again. I'll be focusing on the day trading, swing trading. We have these periods where you have lots of action, and then you sometimes have, like in 2022, months of no trading activity unless you're going to take some short trades, which I know a lot of you watching, some of you do, but a lot of you don't. And so yeah, I'll be day trading stocks, Forex, and at least there's some action there every day, potential trading opportunities. So that is it for this stock market outlook. Have a great week out there.